Having only known the Shinobi franchise by name and never playing any of the previous entries, I was very intrigued by Shinobi Art of Vengeance because the art style, but also more importantly, the way the combat worked. As someone who's a big fan of Prince of Persia Lost Crown, I was very interested in trying this out, and I'm glad that I did, because Shinobi Art of Vengeance is absolutely fantastic. While it's not quite a Metroidvania, I would consider it like a half Metroidvania. Because essentially, the way this game works, instead of having a large interconnected world, the world is basically set up into a variety of stages that each have its own map and that you would explore. And that as you go through the game's campaign, you'll reach points where, just like a Metroidvania, you'll find an area or a secret that you can't reach that you have to come back to later once you have unlocked a new skill. That's basically how the Metroidvania side of Shinobi Art of Vengeance works. Of course, they have other elements too, such as the in-game shop, the shop where you will spend your gold that you collect throughout playing to unlock more skills or perks for Shinobi, but also for the other side of it is the skills themselves. You unlock skills, you unlock amulets, passive amulets where they have a passive a buff, or one that's a combo one where after hitting so many hits, the buff kicks into place. There's a lot of elements of a Metroidvania that's in here, but the game is very much action based. Now, it is my understanding that the Shinobi franchise, historically speaking, is one of difficult games. So I'm pleased to say that Shinobi Art of Vengeance, while the default difficulty is challenging, they do have accessibility options to make the game easier and more accessible to players who just want more of a casual experience and not have to struggle as much. In terms of the game's story, the story is okay. It's nothing special here. It is very interesting because you're not fighting typical humans a lot. You're fighting a lot of monsters, and it's very, very out there in terms of a story, but it's just okay. It's not something to brag about. The story is there, it serves a purpose, and that's all I can say about it. But the real gem of Shinobi Art of Vengeance is the game's combat. The combat is absolutely fantastic. The way you can string together combos, skills, all of that is just it's a real blast. But you have to strategically plan how you want to attack, because you have your base damage, which drains their health. Then you have armor damage, which punctures their armor, and then execution damage. And execution damage, basically, when you manage to get an enemy with the symbol above their head, you push the L and R at the same time, and you basically just annihilate anyone that has that mark. The more marked enemies on screen, the better the combo damage. The better the combo damage, the more gold and healing and kunais that you get back. So they do have, the combat is the bread and butter of this game, and much like Prince of Persia Lost Crown, I absolutely loved it. It's so good, so much fun to just combo things together, your skills, your abilities, all of which into one. It's a real blast to play. So overall, when you look at it as a package for Shinobi Art of Vengeance, it's got it all for a very good price. The base price is 40 Canadian dollars, but artistically it looks good, the audio is good, the core combat is absolutely a blast to play, and it has a serviceable story, and it runs very, very well, not surprising. So what are the negatives to Shinobi Art of Vengeance? Well, to me, I think there was only two negatives. The first negative, as I touched on already, is that the story is, well, nothing special. There's nothing real special about the story itself. It's just a serviceable story. You're playing the game for the adventure, for the exploring, and for the fantastic combat. The other issue is specific to the boss fights. While I do think some of these bosses look great artistically, the issue just boils down to much how I spoke about the combo system earlier in the review, where I talked about how you have execution, you have armor, you have damage, raw damage. The bosses don't apply to these rules, and you basically just do raw damage. There's no sense in worrying about your armor attacks for the most part, other than to break a shield here and there. And the execution damage is completely irrelevant, because once you dwindle the boss's health down, then that's when you can execute them. So overall, the way I see it, is that the bosses, while they look cool and they were still fun to fight against, it's just disappointing that they didn't accentuate the combat the way the rest of the game does. But overall, these are just nitpicking issues. It didn't tarnish my experience very much one way or the other, but they're definitely worth noting. Overall, I absolutely loved Shinobi Art of Vengeance. I highly recommend it to anybody for looking for a smaller game to play. It did take me about 10 hours or so to finish it, with getting a lot of the side stuff. Not all of it, but a lot of it. And overall, I highly recommend this game. I'm giving Shinobi Art of Vengeance a 9.5 out of 10. This is Veteran Gamer, and I hope to see you guys next time.